G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video we are going to be going over how I went in round 11 and then I'll be giving you my round 12 tips. Obviously round 12 is the first of the major bye rounds, so it is going to be impacted by Origin, so we will discuss that as we go through. But without further ado, thank you for tuning in. And if you could hit that like button and subscribe before you get into this one, it'll be amazing. And I'm a nice guy, so I reckon you should just do it for that. All right, obviously you can see I don't have my green screen up. We literally just finished watching the Rabbitohs Tigers game. So I am trying to do this as quickly as possible, so I'm not going to set any of that up. We're just going to go with the flow today, and hopefully it's still a good video. So round 11 saw me get 4 from 8. Not a great week, but at the end of the day, it's not, and it wasn't a terrible week either. So let's get into it. First game, Knights, Eels. So many people told me not to tip the Knights here. I thought at home they get the job done over Para. Newcastle are in all sorts this year. I don't know what direction they need to go in. It's insane how bad they're going, and I'm going to assume I actually don't know who they're going to play at fullback this week, but we'll discuss that when we get into the tips. Parramatta looked good. Mitch Moses definitely putting his hand up for an Origin spot there. And Zach Lomax coming back just looked so good. So, yeah, credit to the Eels. Good win there. Then I tipped the Bulldogs to beat the Roosters. This was looking a bit how you going in this one. The Roosters got off to a good lead, but the Doggies came back and got the job done there. Shout out to the Bulldogs. It wasn't the best win in the world, but at the end of the day, they had a lot of forwards out. I thought they did really well to get back and get the job done here over the Roosters. So credit to the Bulldogs. Strong win there and a tip right for me. First of the Saturday games, we saw the Dolphins taking on the Warriors at Suncorp Stadium. Warriors off to a really good start in this one. Dolphins did claw their way back, but pretty disappointing game for, well, I thought the Dolphins were disappointing in the first 60-odd minutes. The Warriors, I don't know, it's like they just let the foot off the gas. They know they've got the job done and they just sort of coast till the end. Look, Warriors, they're second on the ladder. They're looking incredible, so I can't be too critical of them. But, I know that this team can go to another level and it will need to come finals time. So, while it's a great win for the Warriors, at the same time, I think they would be a little bit disappointed that they did let the Dolphins get back into this game after having, I would say, pretty much complete control for the first 60 minutes. Another tip right, though. We move on to the second of the Saturday games. The Cowboys taking on Manly up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Back to the Cowboys here at home. I thought they'd be too good. Credit to Manly. They got the job done here. I was very surprised with how Manly went, to be honest. I did not expect them to play that well. Turbo is going to be playing this week for them, allegedly. So, good for him. Good for Manly. I mean, no Daly Cherry Evans and stuff like that, but, to keep Turbo is huge. So, yeah, great win for Manly coming off that one and then going into next week with somewhat of a pretty strong team too. So, yeah, good win for the Seagulls. Next up, I backed in Storm to beat the Sharks. Didn't have much faith in Cronulla at home. They haven't really proven themselves against those top-tier sides. Now they have. They've beat the Storm. And Storm obviously coming off a big 64-0 win over the Tigers. I thought they'd be up for this game, Storm. They weren't bad, but they weren't great either. So, yeah, look, great win for the Sharkies. They'll be happy with that. Moving on to, they'll play round 13, I think. I think they've got a bye in the first week of the major bye rounds. But we'll have a look at that. All right. Next up, we've got the Broncos and the Dragons. Obviously, I took the Broncos here at Suncorp. I thought they'd be too good. Broncos have just fallen into a heap. They are playing horrible football at the moment. They start the games pretty well, and then they just let it slip at the end. And the Dragons, man, what a win for them. They'd take a lot of positives from that one, especially after losing so many close games. Getting this one, it would mean a lot to them. So great win there for the Dragons. All right, next up, I backed in the Raiders to beat the Titans by 16 points. And boy, oh boy, was I on the money with this one. Raiders get the job done, 40 points to 24, a 16-point margin. We take a massive tick for that one. Great pick there. Don't know how I did it, to be honest. I just threw a dart at a dartboard and came off. So we take them. All right, next up, I backed in my Rabbitohs to beat the Tigers. They got the job done tonight. Very happy with the result. We're back in the top 8 now, going into a bye, so an extra 2 points this week coming. So you love to see that. And yeah, I thought we played. We weren't perfect, but we were good. So you take those wins, you move on, and we go into a bye this week, and then obviously we're back in round. I think we've got the Raiders. Well, no, it might be the Warriors. I can't remember. I know we've got Warriors, Bulldogs, and Raiders over the next few weeks. I just don't know what way that is. But we go into round 12 now. It's only a short week, 5 games with buys and stuff. Before we jump into these tips, though, guys, if you could leave a like and subscribe, it'd mean the absolute world to me. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go through. We're going to do the tip. I'll give you a margin. I'll give you an anytime try scorer, and then we move on to the next one. So let's get into it. Thursday night footy. We got the Doggies. We've got the Dolphins. It should be a cracking game, in my opinion. Bulldogs will be without Stephen Crichton. That'll pretty much be it. So outside Max King as well, allegedly, he is going to be named for the Blues. This video will probably drop before, or I'm recording it before the Blues team has been officially announced. But I'm hearing Max King won't feature for the Dogs. He will be picked for the Blues there. And then for the Dolphins, they'll be without Hammer and Tom Gilbert, I believe. That should be it. So, you know, both sides missing a couple of players. Doggies probably don't want to lose Max King in terms of the amount of forwards they've got out already. But look, Stephen Crichton's another big loss, to be fair. I think, look, the Bulldogs should win this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins do put up a good fight in this game. I know Hammer's a big loss, but you still got Herbie there. You probably got Kurt Donahue moves back to fullback. Like, they've got players to fill those positions. So I think the Dolphins, I think they'll be fine. I obviously don't think they're going to win this one. I think the Dogs win it. I'm going to say around that 10 to 12 points. So 1 to 12 margin still, but on a higher end there. And anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with, I reckon Matt Burton crosses in this one. So I'm going to say Matt Burton anytime. All right, next up, we got the Parramatta Eels taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. So for the Eels, they will be without Mitch Moses, Zach Lomax. I believe that'll be it for them. I am having a blank here. I don't think there'll be any other players out. For Manly, they'll obviously be losing Daly Cherry Evans and potentially Hamole Olakawatu as well. Outside of that, though, they shouldn't be missing any others. Manly will have Tom Trbojevic playing. I do think Mitch Moses is a massive loss, but so is Daly Cherry Evans. Like, this is generally a game that I could see going either way. Yeah, Zach Lomax is a big loss too. I'd probably argue that Zach Lomax is, man, he absolutely killed it for them on the weekend, so he is a pretty big loss there. I'm going to go with Manly. Again, I do think it'll be a 1 to 12 margin. I can't see Manly I can't see a big win from either side. I do think it will be those 1 to 12 sort of margins, and I do reckon Tom Trbojevic scores anytime in that one. So that is my tip there. Manly get the job done over Parramatta, 1 to 12. All right, the first of the Saturday games. There's only 2 Saturday games this weekend. It's the Penrith Panthers taking on the Newcastle Knights. Panthers without Cleary, without To'o, without Isaiah Yeo. And Liam Martin as well. So that's 4 massive names out there. For the Knights, you'll obviously be without KP. And then that's probably it. I do believe Bradman Best will be out for a long period of time. No Greg Marzio still either. So, you know, they do lose a fair bit. I don't understand how 88% of people are tipping Penrith. Like, Penrith, I don't know what their team's going to look like. Like, no Dylan Edwards as well. I don't think I said him. So, you know, you're probably moving Dan Laurie to fullback. Trent Talau probably comes in, or Brad Schneider in the halves. Yeah, I think this is a tough game to tip. I really, really do. Knights are playing horrible footy at the moment. Penrith coming off a bye, but there's a lot of players missing for them. I know normally they've got that next man up mentality, but they're struggling this year. I don't know who plays fullback for the Knights. Maybe you put Fletcher Sharp back there and play, maybe a Gamble and Cogger halves combination. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Panthers again. I'm going to back them in 1-12. I'm not confident about a 13-plus win in this game, either side. I think it's crazy that 88% of people are backing Penrith because I generally can see a world where the Knights win this game. But obviously, I've got to go Penrith here. Yeah. It's gonna have to do it. All right, next up, the last of the Saturday games, we've got the Roosters taking on the Sharks. The Roosters, realistically, I know Teddy's still there and stuff, but they're losing. Connor Watson will be out, which is a huge loss. Spencer Leniu, probably Angus Crichton. Robert Toya apparently is going to be selected for Queensland, so that's another player out. There's a lot of players that are going to be missing for the Roosters. The Sharks won't have any players out, I don't believe. So I think Sharks win this one by about, I'm going to say 16 points. We'll go 14. We'll go 14. I don't want to do 16 2 weeks in a row. I do think the Sharks win this one quite convincingly, though. I really don't see a world where the Roosters get all that close. So, yeah, Sharkies should get a big win. Oh, and sorry for the Panthers, anytime try scorer. I'm going to say we see... I'm going to say Blaze Talangi scores anytime for the Panthers. For the Sharkies, I reckon Ronaldo scores in this one. Sharkies 13 plus. All right, the last game, and this is arguably the best game of the weekend by far. Warriors and Raiders. Warriors will miss Mitch Barnett. Raiders will miss Hudson Young. I believe Corey Horsburgh will be overlooked for Queensland. So, Warriors, really only one player missing out there. They got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck back last week. They're rolling at the moment. I do think losing Hudson Young is going to hurt the Raiders, especially now with Matty Nicholson out for an extended period. So they are going to be a little bit light on in their second rowers. I do think the Warriors win this one. I don't think it'll be 13 plus. I think it will be a 1-12 margin because the Raiders are a gritty team and really only losing Hudson Young. I don't think it'll affect them too much. If they lose Corey Horsburgh though, they probably will struggle a little bit. But I'm pretty confident the Warriors get the job done here. A 1-12 margin. And I'm going to go with Roger to score anytime in that one. So, guys, let me know who you're backing down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Apparently, I've tipped every favourite this weekend, which is not a surprise. Not going to be making any changes. We're just going with the 5 we've got here. I'm pretty confident in those tips, but I'd love to hear from you. Drop down below who you're backing this weekend. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.